Are we truly alone in the universe? Or could there be other forms of life within our own galaxy, or even millions of light years away? This question is both scary and mysterious. The scary part lies in the possibility of our solitude. What if we are truly alone, with not even a simple bacterium existing? Meanwhile, the mysterious part involves thinking about what other life forms might look like if they do exist. Are they humans? Or entirely aliens? Perhaps they resemble dinosaurs, dwelling alone on a distant planet. These questions currently offer no simple answers, because the creation of life is a very complicated process that happens over millions of years. Therefore, attempting to unravel this mystery based on the information we have, the response is more likely to be based on probability rather than a definitive conclusion. And here's why. Humans are very intelligent creatures with great potential, but despite all of that, they still rely on essential elements that are quite rare in the universe. When it comes to exploring distant planets and searching for signs of life, one of the main challenges we face is the lack of energy relative to the vast distances involved. This makes reaching planets beyond our solar system extremely challenging. Additionally, ensuring human survival during long journeys is incredibly important, as it requires substantial energy resources for life support systems, food, oxygen, and other necessities. Honestly, this is too much for us to handle. So, let's trust our instincts on a journey we deeply respect, tracing back from the formation of our home, Earth, to the creation of the first cell in the depths of the oceans. Let's see how likely similar life forms evolve on other planets. 5 billion years ago, when our sun was a young star and the universe was around 8.8 billion years old, Earth did not yet exist. What we see is only a collection of rocks, dust, and gases orbiting the sun. Most of this matter was the remnants of the deaths of ancient stars that had died in supernovae explosions, traveled light years across the cosmos, and started to encircle our sun due to its gravitational pull. However, as time passed, things started to change. These materials gradually accumulated in a region surrounding the sun, and with time, the collisions between particles became more frequent. With each collision, the chances of forming larger particles increased. Considering the vast diversity of planetary systems in the universe, it's reasonable to assume that there could be a significant number of stars that have experienced or are currently experiencing conditions like our sun. But there are no signs of life yet. Instead, we only see chaos in the remnants of stellar masses. As time passed, around 1 billion years, these particles gradually started to form a massive mass of matter orbiting the sun. And due to its powerful gravitational force, this mass attracted itself strongly, pulling everything closer. During this process, collisions between particles occurred with significant force, ultimately leading to the formation of our home planet, Earth. 4 billion years have passed since then, and yet, we remain unable to predict anything about life. Life seems impossible in this array of planets. We only see a hell of fire. Lava World. That's the perfect name we chose for our planet in its early stage. Now, let's take a closer look to see what's happening. Imagine a surface covered in super hot, molten rock and fiery liquid. There are no oceans, trees, or buildings, just a continuous cycle of volcanic eruptions and destructive rains. It's a fiery inferno with volcanoes scattered everywhere, resulting in a temperature surpassing 2,000 degrees Celsius. In addition to the toxic surface, Earth was continuously bombarded by various types of celestial objects, including asteroids, comets, and meteoroids. Yet, among the chaos, one can't help but wonder if the same thing is happening on other planets. We can confidently say, yes, it's likely happening somewhere out there. But it doesn't matter, because these planets are absolute hell, incapable of supporting life. So, let's speed up time and try searching life again. 7 billion years have passed now, and Earth still feels like hell. the surface temperature has dropped significantly from 2000 to around 1000 degrees Celsius, and violent volcanic eruptions have formed mountains. There's nothing special here. Our hope for life seems like a distant dream. But then, something different is about to happen. While meteoroids and comets continue to bombard us as always, this time is different. Instead of minerals and gases, these celestial objects carry something far more precious: drops of water, the very essence of life itself. These space objects kept hitting our planet like missile attacks for millions of years non-stop, transforming the solid surface into a multitude of water pools and lowering the temperature to around 70 degrees. Now, we can feel that hope starting to emerge from the ashes of hell. Such chaotic events are not exclusive to Earth. It is possible that other planets in different solar systems are experiencing similar phenomena. Water exists, and the necessary conditions for the emergence of life are present. While we can't definitively assert that life will form there, as life requires more than just water, it's more likely that they possess what we have, which is neither rare or overly complicated. Now, let's fast forward around 500 million years and see if we find something. Okay, things are different now. There's more water and more land. Water has flooded the Earth, and hot molten rock simultaneously rose to the surface. The weather seemed to gradually cool down, and things started getting better. But wait, did we miss something? We haven't checked the bottom of the oceans yet. So, let's take a look. Oh no, it seems we showed up too late. Life has already started. Archaeas are swimming alongside bacteria as if it's no big deal. They've already made themselves at home. Now, we're not sure if similar creatures exist on other planets because we don't know how they come to life. So let's step back for a moment to see how these microscopic creatures formed in the first place. Now, we're 200 million years back, and there are no bacteria or archaea here. Perhaps we arrived too early, so let's step outside and see if we can find something. Once again, missile strikes of meteoroids and comets raining down upon us from every angle. However, this time, they're delivering more than just water, a treasure of chemical compounds, amino acids, carbohydrates, nitrogen, and phosphorus, the very building blocks of life. They kept hitting us with rocks for a long time until they eventually reached the deepest parts of the oceans. These are deep, dark places, untouched by light, where temperatures hover around -50 degrees Celsius. Okay, there is nothing special here, until these celestial objects started to decompose and mix with other components already present in the oceans. This mixing caused water to turn into a blend of different chemical substances, which then began to combine and interact. Water, energy, amino acids, minerals, and other components are dancing together beneath the protection of the deep ocean, shielded from harmful UV radiation, and on their way to begin communicating with each other. The first appearance of life on Earth was in the form of a single-celled organism that lived at the bottom of the oceans. These unicellular creatures are relatively simple in structure compared to larger organisms, and there are many of them, such as bacteria, archaea, algae, and amoebas. However, their formation is more complex than you might think. It takes millions of years for a single-celled organism to form, as it undergoes numerous stages of development, subject to interruption or extinction within a matter of days due to the unstable conditions on Earth. These conditions include fluctuations in temperature, environmental pollution, and natural disasters. Anyway, in order for a single-celled organism to form, it needs to prioritize the most important part, the membrane. This barrier designed to separate and protect the interior of the cell from the external environment, and regulating what enters the cell and what leaves it. It's essentially a collection of lipids along proteins, cholesterols, and carbohydrates gathered in the form of a sphere. You can easily disrupt this structure by adding a lot of salt to the water. On the other hand, adding amino acids to the salty water can help the lipid structure to not break apart. So, salty water destroys the structure of the lipids, while amino acids can stabilize it. And this is exactly what happened on Earth, as it is believed to have had amino acids in salty water long ago. This is the primary reason why lipids didn't fall apart in the presence of salt, leading to the formation of the membrane. What if other planets lack amino acids in their salty oceans? In such cases, the probability of other life forms similar to us begins to decrease as conditions become increasingly challenging. After the successful formation of the cell membrane on Earth under these challenging conditions, RNA becomes the second important component in a cell. This nucleic acid performs two roles simultaneously, storing genetic information like DNA does today, and catalyzing biochemical reactions like proteins. It consists of chains of nucleotides linked together that need to be organized in specific sequences. Otherwise, during the transcription and replication of nucleic acid, numerous errors and mutations may occur along the way. If an error occurs in the process of transcription, it may lead to the formation of incorrect or ineffective proteins. While if the changes in the replication process are sufficiently negative, they may affect the abilities of the cell to survive and reproduce, ultimately leading to its extinction. What we've seen right now is a whole universe itself, where every particle is interconnected, and the absence of anything could disrupt the entire system. Therefore, the probability of other life forms similar to us becomes quite challenging. Conditions have become increasingly demanding and extremely sensitive, but let's assume they've made it this far. Is this enough? Unfortunately, the answer is no. These cells need to learn how to adapt to their new home by receiving and processing food, regulating temperature, maintaining their genetic material to ensure survival and reproduction. Food processing. Basically, cells receive and process food through processes of absorption and digestion. During absorption, the cell absorbs nutrients from its surrounding environment, either through simple diffusion or by utilizing specialized structures like cell membranes. Then, the cell undergoes the process of digestion internally. If any of these nutrients, like sugars, carbohydrates, proteins, and vitamins, are completely missing for a long time, it could stop biological processes and ultimately lead to the end of life. Regulating temperature. Regulating temperature in unicellular organisms is crucial. It refers to their ability to adjust to changes in their environment's temperature. For instance, in cold environments, these organisms might slow down some of their processes to conserve energy and survive. Similarly, in hot environments, they may speed up their processes to cool down and adapt to the heat. Life experiences are unpredictable, and random events can occur at any time, such as extreme changes in temperature, which could lead to the immediate extinction of unicellular organisms on other planets. Reproduction. Unicellular organisms typically reproduce through a process called binary fission. In this process, the cell divides into two halves, and each part is identical to the other. This method enables rapid and straightforward reproduction, while maintaining the same genes. But here's the thing. Any ocean pollution with harmful chemicals can affect the hormonal and reproductive systems of organisms, reducing their ability to reproduce properly and potentially leading to their extinction. This is something that can happen at any time through meteoroids. When they explode in the atmosphere, they can bring pollutants to deep oceans. In summary, providing essential life components on planets such as Earth is not unique. It can happen on many other planets too. Think about it. There are so many planets out there. They're probably experiencing similar cases, with rocks hitting them and bringing the ingredients for life. So, there's nothing particularly special about us in the early stages. But replicating events exactly like what happened on our planet over millions of years, with all that sensitivity and precision, from forming the membrane to the successful reproduction of the cell, is an extremely difficult process. But who knows? Maybe there are other creatures vastly different from us. Perhaps they don't need food, membranes, or even have a defined shape. We've only discussed our unique lifestyle. The universe is endless, and what we know is just a drop in the ocean compared to what we don't know. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.